We'll call this meeting to order on Tuesday, May 3rd. Commissioner Mordhorst has been excused. We'll rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Hanson.
Yes. Members of the board, in your packet, well, in your handout now is the health insurance for the upcoming fiscal year. We do not have final numbers from Pacific Source. So in my memo to you guys, there's an estimate. It's going to be somewhere between 3% and 5% increase for Pacific Source. For the Kaiser rates are what we are going to have to live with. There's a 14.67% increase in those rates for AFSCME, FAPO, and non-represented. And then in the Sheriff's Association, it's a 14.73% increase in health insurance rates, which is greater than I anticipated in the budget. Total impact fiscally to us is probably about $600,000 increase over the last year, maybe 650. What I put in the budget was about 450, so I'm 200,000 shy, which sounds like a big number, but isn't that big a number when you spread it out to different departments and throughout the county. So it's higher than anticipated. I might modify the budget or just tell people to live within their means. They'll overshoot their health insurance line item, but they'll have plenty of room in other areas to make up for it. Right on the edge. So, but wanted to let you know, I think open enrollment for our employees comes about June 15th through July 15th. If you want to switch carriers, you notify HR, they send out a notice that this is open enrollment period. And then that'll take effect when these rates take effect, which is August 1. So.
And we should get numbers from Pacific Source and then potential cost to employees, so they have what they need.
Yeah.
Before. Yeah.
And like I said, the cost to employees is going to increase about $20, $21 for the Kaiser people. And then for Pacific Source, it's probably going to be somewhere between $6 and $10. So not a big increase if you have Pacific Source. We will get final numbers from Pacific Source probably near the end of May, and plenty of time for open enrollment. At that time, I'll give you a revised sheet with the exact numbers, but they aren't going to change that much.
Do you have, not that it's important one way or the other, I'm just curious, do you have a sense of how many folks we have covered in each of these plans?
Yeah. Or you'd like to know?
Yeah, I'm just wondering if you have a rough number.
We have 211 that are covered by Kaiser, and we have 114 covered by Pacific Source. So obviously when Kaiser goes up, it affects us fiscally a lot more than when Pacific Source goes up. And you can still see that Pacific Source, even after the big increase for Kaiser's still cheaper as the overall plan. So.
And can you say what you think the trend line for Kaiser coverage has been over the last 5 years? Have we gone up, gone down, or stayed pretty level as far as number of people participating?
It continues to climb.
Okay.
Just because of the difference between Kaiser and Pacific Source and cost. But when I first started here, it was probably 2/3, 1/3 the other way. And now it's almost 2/3, 1/3 Kaiser. It used to be Blue Cross Blue Shield used to dominate, and we kept Kaiser mostly for the families and that, but Kaiser over time has gone up.
And Kaiser in the past, early in my start here, it could be said that they had some challenges with network and coverage. Is that, in your view, gotten better? And I mean, we have
A lot better. Plus, Kaiser used to be very limited in its locations. And now, obviously, Kaiser has expanded. It's a much bigger organization in the valley and now. So if you lived in Corvallis, you had to travel forever or McMinnville or that. And Salem at the time only had one or two, and now they have multiple ones. The West Salem Clinic makes it easier. I don't think it's fully opened yet, but I don't know for sure. But their network has gotten a lot better.
I was looking for the values and the support while we have these substantial increases. So
Yeah, when I
make sure it's in the right place.
When I first started, Kaiser was much more expensive than Blue Cross Blue Shield. And whether the Kaiser model is a better model to control healthcare costs or not, I'm not going there, but over time, they switch. We have had more modifications than what was eligible and all those things for the Blue Cross or Pacific Shore side. Kaiser stayed pretty true to itself, so, it looks like at least cost control wise, they're able to do a better job or at least pass less profits on to the ratepayer. I don't know.
Not that we explore other options, but what is our contractual obligation to stick with Kaiser as a?
We can change health carriers at any time. However, we would have to bargain with all four labor unions to do that. And I doubt that they would agree.
Mm-hmm.
And you would have to find something comparable. So you're going to have to find an HMO of some kind. I don't know if anyone's better than Kaiser at least in the valley. So we can, doesn't usually work. We've gone out and solicited a couple times in my career. Each time we did not change.
Mm-hmm.
So
we did swap out Pacific Source for Blue Cross. What was that, 4 years
that was
ago?
because of the debacle with Blue Cross and Salem Health.
Yeah.
That settled right after we made the decision to switch. But we couldn't risk our employees to be void of that service. So, and we stuck with Pacific Source. That caused some angst with employees. I haven't heard much complaining about the switch, but it caused a lot of heartburn when we initially did it. So.
Do you need a motion of any kind at this point?
No, it is what it is.
Yeah. Anything else?
It's just informational. We'll put this stuff out to employees, like I said, for the open enrollment period. They'll see what their costs are going to be and all that. They can make the choice to switch or keep. If you don't put in anything, you stay with what you have. And that's the only time you have to do it is if you wish to change your healthcare provider.
Thank you. We have a need for an executive session.
That's tomorrow.
Any non-listed items?
That's for me, sir.
All right, we're adjourned.